and who are the DA mayors working for you in your town or city, and which MPs represent you and your causes in Parliament. On our website, you can learn more about our latest campaigns and how you can get involved. Join the Democratic Alliance to rescue South Africa. Become an activist, become a councillor, become a member of Parliament if you care about South Africa. Please visit donate.da.org.za. Donate to a cause you believe in. Donate to make a difference. Did you know the DA is the second biggest party in South Africa, making the DA the official opposition in Parliament? The DA is the only opposition party to govern a province, the award-winning Best Run Western Cape. The best run municipalities in South Africa are all governed by the DA. DA mayors are working hard to protect residents from national government failures by getting the basics right, delivering better services, and having zero tolerance for corruption. This is the DA difference. The next broadcast will start shortly. Follow us on social media for the latest in news and politics in South Africa. Like and follow our page on Facebook. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on anything. Be part of the conversation. Tell us what you think in the comment section. And please like and share our videos with your friends and family. The next broadcast will start shortly. If you care about South Africa and want to make a positive difference, then join the DA. Visit our website at da.org.za for more information. Find out who represents you in your ward and district, and who are the DA mayors working for you in your town or city, and which MPs represent you and your causes in Parliament. On our website, you can learn more about our latest campaigns and how you can get involved. Join the Democratic Alliance to rescue South Africa. Become an activist, become a councillor, become a member of Parliament if you care about South Africa. Please visit donate.da.org.za. Donate to a cause you believe in. Donate to make a difference. Let's rescue South Africa. Join the DA, because the DA gets things done.
In 2006, the Democratic Alliance won Cape Town by just one seat.
With just 42 votes, he recently won Ngeni.
Saletha intuthuko ebonakalayo endaweni zasemakhaya.
Because people voted for change.
DA-run Midvaal is now the best-run municipality in Gauteng.
And a new story was written for the Western Cape when people voted DA.
But if you want a new government that works, then you have to vote for it.
In this election, every single vote will count. Your vote can rescue South Africa. Vote DA.
Hello South Africa, my name is Kwena Maloto, coming to you live today from Johannesburg, outside of COSATU House. Now we know we have a massive unemployment crisis in this country. For every 10 young people looking for a job, only 7 are able to find work due to the policies implemented by the ANC and COSATU Alliance. And it's why we are here today. As you can see behind me, DA activists are here, as well as the media, and very soon DA Federal Leader John Steenhuisen will be addressing the media and you at home on our plans to take the fight for jobs to COSATU. And our message is very clear here today, is that if you want a party that creates jobs, vote for a party that gets the job done. Now please do like and share this broadcast with your friends and family, and keep up with the conversation using the hashtag VoteDA and hashtag Rescue South Africa. But now I am joined by our DA Youth Federal Leader, Nicholas Nyati. Nicholas, How are you today, and why is it so important that we're here outside of COSATU House?
I'm good and I'm excited. I'm excited because we've decided to take the fight to where it actually belongs. This tripartite alliance by COSATU and the ANC has been killing the dreams of young people. And Kwena, just to correct you, out of 10 young people that are looking for jobs, 7 are unable to find a job. That is a sad state of affairs in our beautiful country.
Now, Nicholas, you say that when the youth works, South Africa works. Why do you say this?
Because if you go to the Western Cape, you can see that the province is working. The province is functioning, and that is because the DA prioritizes jobs. We understand that to grow the economy, you need to get people into work. You need to open up opportunities. But it is difficult for us to do so because of people like COSATU, because of these fat cats and unionists who are locking the doors of opportunity from young people.
Now, we know the DA recently launched its bold new economic policy. Can you tell us, as the youth leader, more about the Youth Opportunity Certificate?
It's a game changer. It's a game changer because it takes away power from unionists like COSATU. It gives it to the people. Yesterday, Kwena, I met a young man by the name of Lorenzo. Lorenzo is a 19-year-old who has just matriculated 2 years back. He cannot find a job. Lorenzo was pleading with us, saying that I have companies that want to employ me, but these companies are struggling because labor laws say they must give me minimum wage. I'm willing to work for 3.5 because currently I have 0 rents, I have 0 income. The government is only giving me 350. And as the DA, we're answering the plea of Lorenzo and other Lorenzos out there who are saying these draconian labor laws are killing them, and we will open those doors whether COSATU likes it or not.
Now, Nicholas, if you were to meet with President Ramaphosa, what would your message be to him?
President Ramaphosa, your time is up. He needs to leave the union buildings. As young people in South Africa, we are saying we are going to be voting for Ramaphosa to go out. We are not lucky as him. We are not billionaires. We don't come and have shares in big companies. We are struggling as young people. We want opportunities. And the only party that can give us those opportunities is the DA. So I would just remind Mr. Ramaphosa that there are 28 days left of your presidency. After the 29th of May, we are going to have a new government in South Africa that will create jobs for all of us.
Now, Nick, for people at home who are still unsure about whether to vote for the DA, what would your message be to those South Africa? Why is it so important for us to vote for the DA on the 29th of May?
The DA is the biggest party that can fight against the ANC. The DA, if you look at polling, is the only party that can truly uplift the multi-party charter. So a vote for the DA is not a wasted vote. The DA is the only party with a proven track record. Judge us by where we govern. If you look at unemployment in the country, we have the lowest unemployment rate in the country. Our city is working in the city of Cape Town. Our province is working in the Western Cape. What more do South Africans want? We've proven ourselves again and again and again that wherever we govern, we make things work, because when the DA govern, we get things done.
Yeah, no, you heard it here. Where the DA governs, we get things done. And it can be seen inside the Western Cape, where we've seen that over the past 5 years, majority of jobs in this country have been created. And it's all due to policies that are being implemented right now. It's not just a conversation that we're having. It's not just ideas. It's implementable plans. And if anyone wants to see more about what the DA is doing in the Western Cape and wants to see what are realistic, implementable ideas are and our implementable policies are, please go to rescuesouthafrica.org.za to download our economic policy documents. But we're now joined by Matt Cuthbert, who will be going in more as the head of our policy unit. Matt, why is it important that we're here today taking the fight for jobs to COSATU?
Sure. Morning, Kwena. It's great to be with you this morning. It's great to be back at COSATU House. When we were last year in 2012, COSATU tried to intimidate us because we were trying to stand up for the rights of the unemployed youth. And today we are back here to take up that fight again. We understand that the labour regime that the COSATU, ANC and SACP alliance have constructed has excluded the vast majority of South Africans from being able to realise employment, be able to move up the opportunity ladder. And that's why we think it's so important to come out here and stand up for unemployed South Africans in our country and make sure that we are able to give them a life of dignity.
Now, Matt, does the DA have a plan to rescue South Africans from unemployment?
Yes, we do have a plan to rescue South Africans from unemployment. This past Friday, we launched our economic policy, which spoke to the fact that we'll create between 1.9 million and 2.5 million jobs through our plan. And these are things like making sure that we get South Africans working by minimizing the kind of onerous labor legislation that they are forced to endure, making sure that we save and spend better, focusing on frontline service delivery, making sure we protect the Reserve Bank's independence, and also making sure that we have competitive industries that are able to compete in international markets. We also believe that we need fair market competition in the South African environment, and it can't be an insider-outsider stitch-up where big businesses and government get together in a room and exclude the vast majority of small businesses and those of the unemployed. So it's really critical that we are able to get into government after the 29th of May so we can implement our plan and begin to rescue South Africa and turn us on the trajectory towards growth and job creation.
So now, Matt, why is it that COSATU has an issue with the DA's plan to create jobs?
Well, COSATU have accused us of hating workers, have accused us of being anti-poor, but I think the real reason that they have decided to pick this fight with us is because they know that the system which they have created has excluded the vast majority of South Africans, and the DA is the only alternative party with the solution to be able to lift people out of poverty, put them on the opportunity ladder, and allow them to live a life of dignity. And I think that COSATU are intimidated by us, and I think that they want to take the fight to us because they're worried that the DA is going to encroach on the Alliance's votes.
Okay. Just a quick one, Matt, before, we are now headed over to our press briefing. Thank you so much, Matt. We will be now crossing over straight to our media briefing. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Democrats and members of the media. Today we stand before an organization which represents the crushed hopes and dreams of the unemployed. Together in their unholy alliance with the ANC and the SACP, they have created a system of economic exclusion. A system which has left 4 out of 10 people unemployed, and even worse, 7 out of 10 young people trapped in grinding poverty. A system which has deepened inequality, reversed growth, and led to one of the worst unemployment rates in the world. And a system that has confined more than 10 million people to a minimum wage of R0. It's unconscionable to think that in 2024, such a large proportion of our fellow citizens have never had a job and are likely to never have a job because of the job-killing policies of the unholy alliance. Our fight is a simple one. It's about fair access to jobs where everyone, regardless of the circumstances of their birth, has the right to climb up the opportunity ladder. For too long, the Alliance's patronage networks have locked the majority of South Africans out of opportunity, serving only their narrow interests. When we think about the Alliance's BE policy, we remember how comrades have received positions on boards, scored lucrative business deals, and consumed an endless supply of government funding simply because of their political affiliation. When we think about the Alliance's cadre deployment policy, we remember how comrades are appointed to key positions within the state despite not possessing the right skills or qualifications, simply because of their political affiliation. When we think about the Alliance's EPWP policy, we remember how comrades distribute patronage to branch members by appointing them to short-term work opportunities in their wards, simply because of their political affiliation. This issue is no different. COSATU has deliberately constructed a labor regime through their deployees in government that favors their members at the expense of the unemployed. Ramaphosa, Mantashe, Patel, Ngisi. Like all other exclusive clubs, they do not care about you unless you are one of them. And when they do not get their way, they intimidate you and destroy that which belongs to you. It doesn't have to be this way. We can get South Africans working. A DA government will introduce a youth employment opportunity certificate which will empower young people to break free from the constraints of the minimum wage and give them a better chance of finding jobs. The certificate will be valid for 2 years and will be implemented to give more unemployed individuals a chance to be able to exempt themselves from sectoral wage agreements. A DA government will broaden the collective bargaining system and exempt small, micro and medium enterprises from the extension of bargaining council wage agreements. Collective bargaining agreements extend throughout entire industries, including small businesses, and compel them to comply with the conditions in these agreements. These agreements frequently overlook the affordability for SMMEs, and by exempting them from these obligations, it will be cheaper and easier for businesses to hire unemployed individuals. A DA government will hold unions accountable by requiring them to make a deposit to an independent body before embarking on a legal strike. Any damage caused by a strike will first be reimbursed from the deposits, and unions that repeatedly engage in destructive strikes will be required to deposit larger sums of money. Together, we can break down the alliance wall that stands between the unemployed and the jobs they so desperately need. Together, we can build an inclusive economy that makes it easier for businesses to hire you instead of being told you are not allowed to work. And together, we can enable almost 1 million South Africans to get their foot in the door, gain experience, and build a livelihood for themselves and their families. We must remember that our fight is for fair access to jobs, and the only way to achieve that is by voting for the DA on the 29th of May. I now hand over to our DA Federal Youth Leader, Nicholas Inyati.
Thank you very much, Matt. Good morning, South Africans. It feels great to be with you today, as we gathered at COSATU House to send a strong message. Yesterday, those in the building behind us were out and about deceiving South Africans. They were out in their red hammers and sickles to commemorate Workers' Day, when they, the same people, are against workers. The so-called pro-worker unionists sit next to fat cats and want to tell us that they stand for the employed. We are here today to tell them that we do not buy it. As young people, we do not buy their lies. They refer to themselves as the Tripartite Alliance and claim to have been founded to advance national democratic revolution. The truth is, they are the biggest scams in this democracy. I read a piece by Zwelithini Mavavi where he was warning South Africans not to vote for Jacob Zuma. In his piece, he says they must be careful of this corrupt man. The same Zwelithini Mavavi and COSATU stood while Zuma looted our country. The same Zwelithini Mavavi stood while Zuma was fighting against the Democratic Alliance who were exposing him for the corruption that he was doing. The same COSATU stood with the people who were looting our country and creating the mess that we find ourselves today. These people are not revolutionaries. They are not freedom fighters. They are lootists who only care for themselves and those who are in an alliance with them. We want to tell them that as young people, enough is enough. We are not scared of them. We are going to take the fight to them because we know that when the youth works, South Africa works. Our country now sits broken because of alliance like COSATU. They now seek to duck and cover. But I want to tell them, South Africans see you. They see you for who you are. We know that you are an unholy alliance of crooks. We know that your promises fade, just like the picture of Ramaphosa behind me is fading. It is because of this alliance that we sit with 41% of unemployment. It is because of this alliance that 7 out of 10 young people cannot find work opportunities. This is an absolute disaster and one that the ANC does not have the capability to fix. They think that they can lie to us. They think that they can fool us. Today we are here to tell them, genoeg is genoeg. Another prominent unionist, one from here, the so-called Premier, Mr. Panya Panya, the one who lies and promises the people jobs. The one who lies and gives people jobs only if you are a card-carrying member of the ANC. The one who lies and only gives young people jobs if you are willing to open your legs. The one Premier who says we'll only give you jobs if you are connected and willing to do tunu-tunu. We want to tell Panyaza in his province that your time is up and that the DA government is coming. Lesufi and his cronies think that you are only deserving of work if you wear a yellow t-shirt. Under a DA government, you will deserve work whether you wear red blue or pink t-shirt, because we want to ensure that we open opportunities for each and every South African. I want to now introduce John to give us a way forward, because it is John who will lead the team that will take us to the promised land and create jobs for all South Africans.
Thank you very much, Nick. It's great to be with our youth leader today and the DA's head of policy. And it's really great to be with the media here today and, of course, the activists. We stand outside COSATU House. And some people may say, why COSATU House? And I say COSATU House because COSATU House is a crime scene. Why is it a crime scene? Because in that building, thousands and thousands of jobs are killed every single day. Thousands upon thousands of the hopes and dreams of ordinary South Africans are cut down in this building every single day. Now, I noticed over this weekend that COSATU seems to think that the DA, what do they call us? The enemies of the workers. They said we hate workers. And I'm here to say very clearly today, that's not true. We love workers. We love workers, and that's why we want to create millions of more workers in South Africa. When people work, poverty goes down. When people have a job, gangsterism, criminals, and other networks are not able to prey on our young people and force them into a life of crime. When people have jobs, they have the dignity to be able to put food on the table for their families. When people have jobs, they're able to provide a better future for their children than the one that they have lived under. But let me tell you today that the tripartite alliance is an unholy alliance. It's an unholy alliance that continues to perpetrate policies on the people of South Africa that destroy jobs, that create an insider-outsider economy where the connected few have access to all the opportunities, while 11.7 million of our fellow citizens live without work in the country. Where 30 million of our citizens live below the poverty line in South Africa. And I think it's an insult to South Africans that organizations like COSATU celebrate Workers' Day. What's there to celebrate when 7 out of 10 young people cannot find work? What's there to celebrate when young graduates stand on the streets, corners of our towns and our cities begging for an opportunity to find a job? Where is the dignity for ordinary South Africans when these policies are perpetrated? Now, yesterday, COSATU tried to argue that the DA's economic policy that we released last week would reverse the gains made by the ANC over the last 30 years. I'm here today to tell you that it is COSATU and their allies in the tripartite alliance that have dashed the hopes of millions of our citizens of ever finding a job. COSATU is not on the side of workers. They're not. Because if they were on the side of workers, they would be doing everything possible to ensure there were more workers in South Africa. Instead, they go out of their way to protect people who are employed and forget about the 11.7 million who aren't employed. And so we've got a very clear message today. There are 10 million unemployed and 30 million impoverished South Africans listening to COSATU's bigwigs talking about the so-called progress that they've made. And I have a message for all of those people who have all but lost hope. The economy does not belong to COSATU. It does not belong to the tripartite alliance. It belongs to each and every job-seeking South African who wants to build our country, who wants to make a contribution to our future. And where COSATU and its unholy alliance have shut the door on South Africa's workers, the DA's economic policy holds the key to open it and blow that door wide open so that South Africans can access a life of meaning and can provide for themselves and their families. Now, the DA's economic policy, and let's be clear, recognizes the need for a minimum wage to ensure that the adequate remuneration of skilled workers continues. But we also understand that a targeted exemption of the minimum wage is crucial in our developing country and our developing economy to lift millions of people out of poverty and allow them to earn some money, to enable them to be self-sufficient and to gain a foothold on the opportunity ladder. This unholy alliance talks about the need for a minimum wage to ensure the adequate remuneration of skilled workers. And they talk about it as if it is the holy grail of addressing unemployment in South Africa. But the inflexible minimum wage only acts as a barrier to hiring by businesses. Simply put, when a business cannot afford to pay the minimum wage, it cannot afford to hire staff at all. And this means that instead of creating jobs for millions of our citizens, it is keeping people out of work. Now, we don't have the luxury in our economic situation that has been steered onto the rocks through the terrible policies of this tripartite alliance. We don't have the luxury of being so economically exclusive to implement such a strict minimum wage. We need a system that protects both workers, but also understands that we need to give a hand up to job seekers in South Africa. And we have the solution to this problem. And it's contained in our economic policy, which was released last week. And that solution is that when the DA is the anchor of a new government after the elections, we will introduce a youth employment opportunity certificate to give unemployed youth a leg up in the labour market. And this certificate will allow young people to opt out of the national minimum wage, created and implemented by the job destroyers behind us, and enable unemployed young people to gain work experience, earn a wage, rather than being reliant on the state for a social grant. And it will allow them to move up the opportunity ladder by gaining the work experience of which the minimum wage continues to rob so many of our young people of every day. We will also do it by bringing in a new government that will be able to, that understands how jobs are created, that understands the policies, that understands the macro environment and the micro environment that's required to build jobs. And a party that doesn't just talk about jobs, doesn't just promise things that never get delivered, like this lot behind me, but actually gets out there and grows an economy and delivers jobs. 360,000 new jobs in the Western Cape last year alone. That is under a DA-led government that understands what you need to create jobs. And our economic policy takes the successes of the Western Cape and other areas where we govern and has turned them into a policy that will unlock a jobs revolution in South Africa. Over 2 million new jobs in the coming years that will lift millions of people out of poverty. And we've set out very clearly in our policy how we can do that. And let me be clear, these are not the jobs that Panyaza Lesufi offers you and the EPWP jobs. Those have their place, but there's no substitute for a real job, a job which lasts as long as you want to be working, a job that ensures that what it's paying you is enough to feed your family and ensure that you can advance going forward. Not after 2 to 3 weeks pushing you back into the unemployment queue where you join the other 11.7 million people looking for work again. So I have a message to South Africans, and I've got a message to all of those at home who are despondent about the economic situation and are despondent about finding work. I want to make this commitment to each and every one of you. If you help the DA become part of a national government, you will have a party that's on your side every single day, that will work day and night to make sure that our economy grows, that we get people into jobs, and that we start to build a better future for all of us. We can have jobs in this country. We can have young people taking their rightful place in the workplace. We can have a growing economy. We can have a better future. But we cannot have it with the tripartite alliance. They've had 30 years, and all they've done in that 30 years is destroy the economy and destroy jobs in South Africa and have pushed you into the unemployment queue. It's now time to take South Africa to a next level. And the only way we're going to do that is by making sure we change who's sitting around the table in the union buildings. And that way is to use your most powerful weapon that you have in any election, and that is your vote. So I'm calling on all of you, workers, unemployed alike. There is a better deal that's waiting for you. There is a fairer deal that is waiting for you. And there's a far better future waiting for all of us. But only if we get out and make that change on the 29th of May. Let's get out there and do it. Together, we can rescue South Africa, we can rescue our economy, and we can rescue our people from unemployment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, colleagues. We will now take one round of questions. If I can please just ask you to indicate by show of hand, as well as your name and the publication or the broadcast channel that you're working with. Just want to get a pen. There we go. If we can start with the first round of questions. Fine.
Good.
Perfect.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
And thank you to our wonderful actors.
DA Leader John Steenhuisen. What qualifies the DA to run the country?
Firstly, we do not tolerate corruption. And where the DA governs, life is better. And that is why millions of South Africans are moving to DA governments. We still have much more to do. But in the past year, the Western Cape created over 300,000 new jobs and is working every day to become load shedding free. We can bring this DA difference to the rest of South Africa, but only if you vote for the DA.
Well, there you have it, South Africa. The DA has a plan to create jobs, and it's not just talk. It can be seen in action over the last 5 years. 4 out of the 5 net jobs created in South Africa have taken place and have been created in the DA-run Western Cape. And it's why this election is so important. COSATU is completely wrong. The DA is not anti-workers. We love workers so much that we are creating the most of them inside this country. And it's so why it's so critical for every South African to go out and vote in this upcoming election. If you're unsure of where to vote or need to apply for a special vote, go to wheretovote.da.org.za and we will help you. And if you want to find out more about our realistic implementable plans to create jobs, 2 million jobs inside South Africa, go to rescuesouthafrica.org.za and download our 2024 manifesto. So that's it for now, South Africa. Remember to please keep the faith. We are the ones we've been waiting for.
In 2006, the Democratic Alliance won Cape Town by just 1 seat.
With just 42 votes, he recently won Umgeni.
Saletha intuthuko ebonakalayo endaweni zasemakhaya.
Because people voted for change.
DA-run Midvaal is now the best-run municipality in Gauteng.
And a new story was written for the Western Cape when people voted DA.
But if you want a new government that works, then you have to vote for it.
In this election, every single vote will count. Your vote can rescue South Africa. Vote DA.
Thanks for watching. All across our beautiful country, people are joining forces to elect the new government that can rescue South Africa. Like and follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Please share our videos with friends and family. Let's rescue South Africa. Vote DA.